Hi, my name is Ross Stisi from the Stisi Group. In this video today, we're going to talk you through the pros and also the cons between using your own bank or using a mortgage broker like yourselves. Coming up in this video. The difference between using a mortgage broker or just using a bank directly. So the rest of this video we'll just discuss a few of the pros and any cons there are between the two. The first point and the main point is product choice. So if you contact your bank or a bank or building society looking for a mortgage, they will have a suite of products. So maybe 10, maybe 20 products that they can offer you from their own range. If you use a mortgage broker, the difference would be that mortgage brokers can access a much wider range. So for example, in our business, we have access to almost 100 lenders across the UK. And over 12,000 different types of mortgage products. So the range is much greater between using a mortgage broker and using a bank directly. So that's, out of this video, one key takeaway would be that the product choice is significantly different between the two. Number two is knowledge. It's not that using a mortgage advisor directly in a bank isn't knowledgeable on their own products and their own process, but generally they won't be knowledgeable on other lenders, banks, building societies and process. So using, again, a mortgage broker, the difference would be is they will or they should be fairly expert in using multiple different lenders, banks and building societies and lending institutions, and know multiple criteria. They will also have built up and maintain and have established multiple relationships with business development managers, whereby you can discuss a single case in a lot more detail with lots and lots of different individual people. Also, as mortgage brokers, we have access to other industry-only tools that we can use to help, place your mortgage application. And again, that's one of the big sort of key differences is overall knowledge of all the lenders, just rather than one set of criteria. Point number 3 is dealing with one individual. Again, not taken away from banks, but just from previous personal knowledge and also other brokers that I work with who have worked in banks in the past and are now in the broker world would confirm the same thing. When you go through a bank, you will ultimately deal with multiple people throughout that process. And if you want an update, you've got a phone, maybe an 0800 number, maybe a call centre, and trying to get an update on your mortgage application can sometimes prove to be difficult, especially if these banks are extremely busy. It can take a bit of time to get through. Buying a house or remortgaging your home can be quite stressful if you're not able to get the answers you need. Dealing with a mortgage advisor, a mortgage broker, then you'll just be dealing with that individual, and if it's not that individual, it'll be that individual's case manager who will be updating and maintaining your case all the way from start to finish. So again, it's a big point. The next point is flexible appointments. I think more over the last short period of time, banks have kind of cottoned on to this a little bit more, where they are sometimes now open a little bit later. and offering some weekend appointments. But I know going direct at the moment for lots of banks, just through what clients come to us and say, it's taken sometimes 2 and 3 weeks to get an appointment. And that is, you know, I've heard that quite a lot recently. Whereas, again, mortgage brokers can be a little bit more flexible on night times and evening appointments. And we can also be a little bit more flexible around, it doesn't have to be face-to-face as well. We can do it over the phone. We can do Skype calls, FaceTime calls, these sorts of things. So flexibility, especially when you're leading your busy life, can be a big thing, and perhaps that's something you want to take into consideration as well. I think the last point on the pros is exclusive products. So mortgage broker firms are often part of mortgage clubs, where literally hundreds if not thousands of mortgage brokers have clubbed together in these mortgage clubs. And that mortgage club, it's really power by numbers, can go to these banks and ask for some exclusive mortgage products that are not lent on the high street. There may be some products that banks have, 1 or 2 products that they will only lend directly, which is probably more rare than the exclusives from mortgage brokers. But again, just coming back to the product choice it's just a lot greater when going through a mortgage broker. I think in terms of the last part would be the cons, and I think there's only really one con, and that is that there can be a fee. There can be a fee. Using a mortgage broker will typically charge a fee. Sometimes different mortgage brokers charge different structures. Our business, we charge anywhere between 0.3% of what you're borrowing up to maybe 1% of what you're borrowing. A typical fee for ourselves is about £395. There's no VAT on that. But ultimately, you're potentially paying a fee to have access to all these other multiple points. So I think if there is a fee, some do it fee free as well. It's more about a sort of sausage machine model, if you like, and churning through as many applications as possible. If it's fee free, that can be how it is. Not all the time, but if you're paying a fee, you're paying for good professional advice, and you're paying to be looked after and taken care of. So I think that's probably one of the main cons, but ultimately you should save that fee. Can't guarantee it, of course, but you should save that fee in the way of the range of the product choice and the exclusive products that mortgage brokers have access to. So that's it for today. So using a broker versus using a bank direct, that's your points. If you've got any questions, you can contact us through the website, which is stisi.co.uk. That's stisi.co.uk. If you've got any questions. So it's Ross Stisi from the Stisi Group, trusted mortgage experts. Thank you.